I'm doing the slightly longer version as a grad student, so it's going to be probably closer to that 20-minute mark. So, and there's lots of activities, lots of things to do. So, the title is a little I don't know the word, but it doesn't really give what I'm going to talk about justice. But we've all been through how many? I mean, you guys have probably been through so many things. Oh, job interview techniques. I mean, even in the last in our last class, we had a couple people talk about job interviewing techniques. What we're going to talk about is more contextual rather than what how you show up. Speaking of which, what have you guys learned about what you're supposed to do in an interview, or how you're supposed to show up, those types of things?
Well, you're supposed to come in like business attire,
Okay.
if it's appropriate for the job, whatever the job kind of calls for, wear that kind of clothes dress for the job you want.
So your attire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me cover some of the
Posture,
Okay.
eye contact.
You got posture, eye contact. Keep going.
On time, but not ridiculously early.
On
Awkward.
time.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, thank you.
Prepared, like with a copy of your resume and like have the information on wherever you're coming.
Okay. All of these are awesome things that you want to do. No questions. But in our society today, things have changed a little bit, and millennials have a new challenge. So one of the things we want to talk about is what words come to mind when you think of millennials.
Passionate.
Okay. Next.
None.
Okay. What else?
Sometimes there's a stereotype of laziness.
Lazy. Okay.
Technology.
Technology. Okay.
What I was born in the 80s.
What else?
Outspoken.
Okay. Any others?
Social media.
Okay. Any other traits?
Change.
Okay. So, there's one word that really resounds in the media.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Me.
Oh, I didn't say that.
That's a cover of a Time magazine article talking about the millennial generation. The main words that they used: lazy, entitled, selfish, and shallow. Oops. So, people who are
Just turn it off and turn it on.
It's okay. We can actually work through this. People who are hiring are often not in the millennial generation, so they have this preconceived notion of people who were born between the years. It varies who's talking about it, but anywhere from 80 to 2000, 82 to 99, I've heard all kinds of different numbers. But pretty much, I think, all except for a couple people fall into that category right here. So, that being said, I did a little non-scientific study. I don't know if you guys, well, if you guys remember when I took most of your reflections and I looked through them. What I was looking for is what we can call self-centered speech. And that is using the pronoun I, me, my, in just regular discussions. And taking that, what I found interesting is that the median number was around 6 for a one-page thing that's asking you about something else. The high was about 10, and there was a couple people that fell in the 2 or 3 range. But you know, so you're saying the word I 6 times about when you're talking about a you know, something that you're reflecting on. So that kind of falls in line with that. According to New York Times Magazine, millennial generation is lazy, entitled, selfish, shallow. I mentioned that. So how can you help to get past this in a job interview? That's the intent of this. But even stepping back for a second, what does it mean if employers are seeing you like this? It means you're looking for a job, or you're just enjoying the perks of unemployment. And if you're looking for a job and enjoying unemployment, then your funds are probably as little as that. So I'd like to try an experiment. Let's see, give that to every other person, and don't open it yet. Every other person will get one of those. And choose yourself a partner. Yeah,
Every other.
So I guess you
Wait, every other, are we all supposed to say?
oh, are you, does she have one?
You just
Yeah.
basically need a partner that doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Can you toss it or?
That was simple enough.
You touch it now. It's a home thing.
Okay, choose a partner.
That doesn't have a sheet.
Yeah, it does. Don't let your partner see what you're going
I
to be
think I have the
listening
sheet.
for.
You could just.
And
I
you're
think
gonna
I have,
ask
or
the
I
partner.
have the sheet.
I have the sheets. No question.
We're going to ask the partner to tell you about their favorite family trip, most recent family trip, something like that. And then the listener is going to tally according to the sheet. And we'll give you about 45 seconds. And then we'll hopefully have the computer turn this back up.
My favorite family trip was when I went out to California years ago.
My favorite vacation was when I went to.
We had a house right near the beach, so I got to stay there, go to the beach every day. There was a boardwalk right by it also. Some fishing with my cousin.
And then you had
How's that?
You're driving down the bridge, one side of the water is the Gulf, the other side is.
Went to Florida National Park.
So like one, yeah, it was really pretty. And then, it was warm.
Okay, let's stop. And stop and do a tally based on what you.
I'm gonna be there, so selfish, dude.
And as you're doing the tally, once you total it up, give me some point scores.
5.5.
7.5. Oh, you.
Dogs? Okay.
5.5.
You're adding the 3 scores of 5.
Yep.
Oh, it's a 5. My bad. 18.5.
18.5.
like it self-centered.
What was it?
Oh, I got a 0.
Because everything we eat was so good. We went.
I got a 0.
I was crazy about it. Yeah, it was like, you're talking really slow. Yeah, I didn't think about it.
The whole idea of this was just to see how people express themselves. A lot of people use, no matter what the subject, use the word "I" way too much, and that's the whole background behind this. So, and a quote from Forbes magazine says, healthy communication involves active listening to the other person. Active listening is attentive. We all know this. We're all comm majors. Communicating with a self-centered person feels like not being heard or being invisible. Because the self-centered person turns every topic into being about them. According to Forbes magazine, the #1 mistake millennials make in an interview is acting entitled. And interviewing is sales, so you're selling yourself to your potential job interview. You guys all know this. But you should use sales techniques to sell yourself. Sales techniques including using, instead of using the first person I, using you, your. This provides a personal connection between you and the interviewer, and it gives you that advantage. I'm gonna. Okay. Well, there's. Let me just think this thing. We got.
You can go around.
Like, what kind of dirty did you talk
What?
I talked about
It's been 12.
How do you almost let it
I almost fell out of a ride.
Oh, wow.
Okay. That was your favorite family memory?
That was like the low point of the story.
Like, what's your favorite
No,
family
I-
vacation? The time I almost died.
I'll never forget that story.
Towards.
What ride was it?
Towards the end.
Sandstorm.
Jeez.
Like legitimately almost
There you go,
all.
right.
Yeah,
So-
well, they didn't have a seatbelt. That's little.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Should I pause the video?
Okay. So our objective today is for you all to learn and apply a skill set that allows each of you to enhance your personal and professional image through the use of non-self-centered speech. And with that, I'm going to ask Tara. Her and I are going to do a demonstration of a couple job interviews. So, and okay, right?
All right.
This we're going to do 2 different job interviews. And you'll see the difference.
Hello, Mr. Plunkett. Nice to meet you. Welcome to digital doodads.
I'm so glad to meet you. I'm so happy that you called me in for an interview.
Mr. Plunkett, please sit down. So, tell me, what have you learned about digital doodads?
I'm so glad you asked me that. I've done a lot of research. I like digital doodads, and that they're a small company making doodads for people just like me. I looked up your website, and I really thought that I would be a great fit. I know you've been making doodads for over 30 years, but I see you've gone global lately.
Thank you, Mr. Plunkett, that will be all.
No, he's too excited.
Okay, now let's
Already
try.
anxious.
That too, yeah. Next one.
Hello, Mr. Plunkett. Welcome to Digital Doodads.
It's a
Please have
pleasure.
a seat.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Could you tell me a little bit about what you've learned about Digital Doodads?
Having had the opportunity to read press releases and recent news about digital doodads, I've learned that your recent globalization efforts, while maintaining the small business approach. Your company provides its employees with excellent opportunity to grow and have a long-term career.
Thank you, Mr. Plunkett. It seems as if you've done your homework. Let's continue.
Now, basically, those two conversations were the exact same in content, but one was all about the first one I turned it all about me. It was I. And we speak like that. It's not, we are naturally a self-centered animal. However, in a situation like this, you don't want to be. So what I've done, is put together what I call the SLY approach. And there's really 3 steps, SLY. Stop. A lot of people jump into answering a question before even thinking about it. We just start talking and verbally vomiting a whole bunch of words, and in an interview or even in a personal situation, that's not what you want to do. You want to stop and think. Second is listen. Active listening. Most of us have heard those words together, for at least the last few years of college. But think about, what is the interviewer really asking? He or she wants to know what a specific, answering a specific question. They don't want to know about you per se. So the whole intent is active listening. The third one is the why, and that's using your words. And I say in parentheses, your company. If you notice in the second conversation, it was yes, you. I did use the word I think once in there. That's okay. You have to use it at some point. But I turned it around. I talked about your company, talked about your employees, your website. So that was the.
I think Darren should just get away.
I agree. It's a nice president. But that comes afterwards.
I received this cable. Apparently we have to get contact. And then I had to source it again. It shouldn't be on a computer, but it's a computer based. Everything's HDMI.
Yeah, but it was on and then it's gone off like 3 times.
It should be on computer, it should be on a different source app.
Yeah.
This guy didn't even know that.
They have to go in one your HDMI.
No, one. Like, how you said,
It's not gonna do it. I'm not gonna have that one.
All right, thanks so much.
No problem. Sorry about the inconvenience.
Okay, so the SLY approach, and that's where we're going to try on the next, and you guys are gonna practice. So, switch papers to the other person. Just talk to yourself, you're used to it.
They're still doing stories at the
Okay.
same time.
The question you're going to ask is, now, and I worked through this with Tara earlier today, and she was like, how can I talk about this without talking about me? But within one sentence, she stopped. So the question you're gonna pose to your partner is, tell me about your favorite class. And so you're gonna apply the slide principle. Use key phrases like having learned or knowing about. Use passive voice. The report is instead of saying I calculated the results, say the report shows. The test was given instead of I gave the test. Little things. Remember, you can and should use I, me, and my when it's appropriate, just like I did in the interview. The second. But the key's not to sound too self-involved. So ask each other to describe their favorite class, and you have about a minute, and then we'll switch. Do you have any difficulty?
Is this in the job interview,
Yeah.
So my favorite class is.
I thought you asked me. Did you ask me? Or do I ask you?
Well, the question is,
He's going to ask you right now.
tell me about your favorite class.
Student would understand your.
The whole high school gets to express their feelings
In high school,
show how involved they are with the sport they like to play,
utilize my leadership skills.
which makes the atmosphere more enjoyable. What makes it my favorite class is that
Switch.
my favorite.
Switch and continue.
My favorite class.
That's okay.
Snowshoeing, skiing, snowboarding. They had a unit called Let's Walk Around Together.
That's not in me. I don't know what it is.
Okay, stop.
And we had
Yeah, we had that one too.
How hard was that?
Hard. I thought it was a lot easier, but I think the difference for us at least was that the first one was a trip that your family's taken, so it's kind of hard not to involve yourself. I think when you're talking about a subject like a class, it's much easier not to talk about yourself and talk about the content, which is applicable to this because you're talking about the company,
Right.
not yourself. So
No, and when it's something personal, it is much more difficult, but it's still possible. The whole intention of this is to make you think before you just start blurting out. In fact, I was reading on as I was doing research for this, I was reading a whole bunch of different things, and this one thing came up, and it was about this guy had written maybe 3 or 4 sentences about why he couldn't find somebody to date on a permanent level. Within that, those 4 sentences, he used the word I like 16 times. I'm like, you don't know why, you know. So that's the whole thing with that. So, the whole intention of this is for you to, like I said, for get you to think about what you're saying and be cognizant of being, you know, sounding self-centered. You may or may not be. Doesn't matter as long as you don't sound it in an interview or even in your personal life. So I found this, keep calm by focusing on being sly. And that's it.